Hello, it's Andy. I wanted to talk about something that I have a lot of joy in doing, honestly, and that is altering clothes. I went through a phase a little bit ago where I was sort of making clothes, like crochet or sewing. I wasn't good enough at it. I don't know. I just didn't stick with it as much. But altering clothes to make them more unique and special to me or have memories attached to them is something that I think is really rewarding because, I don't know, we live in a time of fast fashion, you know? Everyone talks about that. But, like, at the same time, I just like having a bit of a personal connection to the things that I wear. Is that crazy? Am I crazy?
Yes.
I don't think I'm crazy. It feels different when you have something for years and years and years and it's like a comfort piece of clothing. But I want to show off some examples, which are these jeans. When I got them from the thrift store and they were just black jeans. And then I soaked them in bleach like twice. So the first time just sort of generally just sort of folded it up and sat it in a bucket of bleach and then washed that off. And then after that, well, it was like bleach water mixture for like the first one, and then for the second one it was just straight bleach where it was more like splattered, so it has more of like the lighter areas and then the darker areas. So the darker areas were like from the first wash where it was half water, but like the super white spots are from, you know, the second time. Anyway, that was too much of an explanation. The point is, I love these jeans because they're very weird. They kind of look like, people say they look like camo. Some other people say they look like they're rotting. I will take either, you know, I'll take either because, I don't know, I just find it more fun and I feel more inclined to wear these, you know, it just feels more important to me, like I'm gonna keep it longer now that I have personalized it, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's special, having clothes that last years and years rather than disintegrate is nice. On top of that, it's just like, I don't know, you curate a personal style that is literally personal because you made it yourself. Kind of. You know? These are my first patch jeans, technically second. I'll get into it in a second. Okay, so these are the main patch jeans that I have. Technically the story is that I had like mainly this and this patch attached to a different pair of jeans that I grew out of just because they weren't, I felt like the material wasn't thick and like sturdy enough for what I wanted to do with it. So I literally cut it out of those jeans and put them on this one. So they're technically the second, but whatever. I've been adding to these and adding little adjustments, little additions and stuff for probably like 4 years now. And some of these I made myself, the ones that look worse. This one, right here, and this one and that one, I think are all the ones I got from a shop called Retirement Fund on Etsy. So, it's very sick. Go follow them. They have great patches, it's cheap, it's great. I know a lot of people sort of, patch pants are a thing within like punk subculture. And I got really into it. I wouldn't consider myself a part of being like punk subculture. So I wouldn't call these patch pants in that traditional sense. But I just like the idea of adding things to my jeans, you know? I was definitely the kid that was drawing on my clothes as a kid. Now I can't get in trouble for it because I made them look cool. So there. I will also like doodle on them. I added this embroidery here on the zipper that says tempestuous, which is a reference to the scene in 10 Things I Hate About You where principal calls her into the office and it's like, people have been calling you names, and she's like, oh, what, tempestuous? And they're like, no, heinous bitch. And I was just like, that's me. I am the heinous tempestuous bitch. Over time, this is like the first one, so it's disintegrated to all hell because the material just sort of frays every time I sew it. It's technically not the best, but you know. Other ones like this is from a skirt that I bought because I thought it looked cute, but it just didn't fit me right, and I could never fix it and alter it correctly because I wasn't that skilled. So then I just, you know, destroyed it. It was already destroyed. I had done things, horrible things, in the name of alteration to that goddamn piece of clothing. Regardless, other things are like memories, you know? This is a shirt. This is from a shirt where I was donating blood for the first time. This is like a reference both to Keith Haring painting and the fact that I'm a theater person. If you couldn't fucking, I think it's clear. This is from a sock that I wore. I was playing Heather Chandler in a senior one act in high school. Stuff like that, you know? And I think, I don't know, I love them. I think they look cool. But on top of that, it's like I have a personal connection and history, you know? It's just like a endless art piece. And, well, I say endless, I am technically done with these. I don't want to add anything specific or big anymore. I would consider them done. I still add little doodles. I added these stars up here recently. Stuff like that, which is not major, but I would consider them done. I have another pair, which I just started recently, which the original pair of jeans I got off of Depop, and someone had like doodled on them, and it was sick. I loved it. And only had like 2 little hearts embroidered on the back. And I was like, okay, I wore them like that for years, and then decided recently to add patches to them. And I've been having fun with that, so I'll show you this on next. Okay, so these are the ones that are work in progress. I'm adding to them a lot, but in terms of like the black marker, that was all there beforehand when I bought them. It's Ed, Ed, and Eddie right here, which is sick. First, the only thing I really added to it was this embroidery here, because I noticed how they did these faces, so I just sort of copied the way that they had put it together, but embroidered it in, and then added like little abstract shapes here and here, also here, just little. And then after that, I just started adding more and more stuff that I've had. Oh god, what does this say? I can't even remember. Trying to read it. The earth is not dying, it's being killed, and those who are killing it have names and addresses. That's what it says. Jesus, that was a workout. My favorites about this is that it has dinosaurs on the front, and then the other side has butterflies. Is that not sick? One last piece that I had worked on for a while is this jacket. Similar to the first patch jeans, it originally was a part of a different jacket that was too big for me, and it looked fine, but it just wasn't, I don't know. Oversized clothes used to be definitely more of my thing. Recently I've gotten a little bit more into stuff that fits me. I got this jacket from a friend who just gave it to me. No idea. It says patented 18, I don't know. There's no name, I don't know. I added a crazy ton of stuff to this, so just easier to show it off if I have it on. Hi. So I added this fake fur up on the shoulders so it looks like, you know, it's like shoulder pads or lapels. Is that what lapels are? I don't know. I added buttons. This took forever, but I added buttons all along the collar here. Smarty pants. This is a button that I got at my cousin's like probably 14th birthday party, which aka probably like 10 years ago. This is also from retirement fund. Use condoms. Listen to the woman. This was from a shirt that I got, and I decided that the shirt didn't really fit me right around the shoulders. So I just, you know, took its slogan and smeared it on there. I have little doodles here. This is another one from retirement fund, which is a Keith Haring painting also, in case you didn't know who my favorite artist used to be. I mean, I still love him, but, you know, I've expanded beyond that. I started this in high school. It's been a while. High supply. But my favorite part of this jacket is the back, because this is from like a little boy's t-shirt, and it glows in the dark. Kind of. At this point, it's like, kind of. But it technically glows in the dark, which is sick. So I stitched that on the back. And that's pretty much all of my patch clothes at the moment. And now that I've shown off my work, I just wanted to really quickly show you the process of me putting a patch. I'm gonna put them on here, on this one. Essentially, just to end this part, I recommend adding your personal flair to your clothes. I really think that it's just a great way to not only like define your personal style, but also it is not as hard as it may seem, and I can show you that in a second here. It's actually not hard to do. Whenever I was a kid, I would always get kind of upset over the fact that cars were just all gray and white and black and all looked the same, were all the same shape, and I was like, what happened to like, why not have a big, bright, beautiful, crazy shaped car? And I feel that same way about clothes of, I understand everyone has their own fashion sense, and mine is pretty out there. It's like maximalism, but in clothes form. But I don't know, I'm into collage. Maybe that's all of it. Maybe that's all it is. Hello. So, this is the back of the pants, and this is about where I'm going to be placing it is on the butt. So partially covering this previous patch, but whatever. In terms of fabric, I like to sort of collect shirts or just little scraps of fabric from memories whenever I can. Like, sort of make my scrapbook on my clothes. But when I want to add something and don't really have anything specific to work with, I got this huge pack of fabric swatches, like just little different designs and stuff, and it wasn't that expensive. I got it on Amazon, I think, and yeah, it's just a great little resource for doing things like what I want to do today, which is a little heart using this red polka dot fabric. I also got this embroidery kit, and with it comes these little pens I just drew out on the side that you won't see, this shape that I want it to come through, and I'll just cut that out, and then I'll show you the next part. One other great thing that I wanted to mention about why I like personalizing my clothes, and I think that more people should get into it, is that growing up, I was like not exactly rich, and would go to the thrift store a lot. So I got really into finding ways to make what I had to work with look more my style, and I got into like just cutting shirts, you know, and making jeans into ripped jeans, and that was, you know, the beginning of it all. I always just feel like it's important to remember that you don't have to be rich to have your own personal style, or to be more creative with how you dress or what you make. And I just wanted to mention that it's like not expensive technically to do this. You don't even need embroidery thread. I know people that use dental floss straight up, like it works great. Honestly, any fabric would work. All you need is patience and the willingness to look probably a little bit interesting too. I get recognized based on the fact that I've worn the same jeans, and someone would see me twice and recognize me only from the jeans because it's like very unique, you know? And I just feel like it's a fun thing. It's a fun thing. Let's have fun. So now that you have the fabric cut out, it could be honestly any shape. You can do whatever you want. Once you have your fabric cut out, this is my personal preference because it helps keep the patch in place while I'm stitching it in, because sometimes it'll get a little wonky. After that, like I said before, you can even use dental floss. It works the same, but I have embroidery thread here, so that's what I'm going to be using. I have this here, which is like Valentine's Day. Aw, cute. Anyway, I would suggest embroidery needle. Really not that expensive. Go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, you can find them online. But if you're using dental floss, you could probably just use a normal needle just as well. It's just helpful for getting through the fabric if it's thicker jeans, thicker material that you're working with in terms of the patch. In terms of length, I have never gotten good at this, and I am not a professional in any regard. This is just simply what I do, by the way. This is my warning as to how ideal this method is, but this is what I do, so this is why I'm telling you this. I like to double it up so it's doubled back on itself, and then I want it to be twice the length of, I just kind of wrap it around the shape and vaguely measure if it's probably good. See, this is not an exact science. This is just sort of arts and crafts, but then I wear it. I find that that's usually the vague length required to get all the way around. I like to just put it through, not one end, so that I don't have to worry about it as much later. I like to leave a little bit of like slack after the knot. I'll show you later. I'll show you later why. What I like to do, so if you can see here, the stitches are vertical to the patch. So you're like clinging it on this way rather than sewing it along the fabric horizontally. Because I've found that the fabric is less likely to fray, it's less likely to get disconnected from the clothes that you're putting it onto with a vertical stitch. So that is my advice. And now it's essentially just going all the way around. What I like to do is leave, I don't need it to be like right on each other, like, so I like to keep a little bit of space in between each one. It doesn't have to be super tightly together. The places here, like you can see, where it's a little more spaced out, there's more open fabric to fray like this, and it doesn't do that as much when you're doing it closer together. So it's really up to you. If you are going to be putting it super aligned with one another, like super close together like this, I would put a little bit more thread on your beginning piece here. Just, it's going to be using more thread. I like to go from underneath so that you don't see the fabric knots, like the parts where everything connects together. It won't be as visible and it's less likely to fray or come apart in any way. I like to come up outside of where the fabric is first and then go in. And like I said, I'm just going to go vertically down and then up to the outside of where I'm going to be putting it next. Into the fabric. It wrapped around the heart here. What I'm doing here, I'm going to do that all the way around. Alright, now that I have gone all the way around, for the last time going in, I just pull all the way through. And then, like I mentioned at the beginning, I like to keep this slack here for the sake of knotting it together. And also the reason I like to keep it underneath the part where it would either touch my skin or, like in this pocket area, just not be seen. Where I knot this so that it looks cleaner, and also it's less likely to get undone. I like to just double knot it. Sometimes if I really don't trust the embroidery thread or something, I'll keep knotting it until I feel secure. I estimated pretty well, I would say, how much thread I would need. And then I just like to clip the ends. And then I'm done. New patch added. Woo! And then this is what it looks like on. Just a little heart. Ding. So that was my tour of personalized clothes, advice, reasons why I think that more people should do it. I hope you got something out of this video. At the very least, if you got jack shit out of this, I hope you at least enjoyed it, or at least enjoyed my collection. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again another time.